The elemental convergence, the single most important moment in history. A cataclysmic war led by Tharizdun, the god of destruction, who created the primordials and declared war on Mount Celestia, the realm of the elder gods. Tharizdun and the primordials brought Mount Celestia to ruins, wiping out nearly all of the elder gods and the universe. Only Avandra, Bahamut, Loth, Vecna, Tiamat, and Yun survived. Their deaths were prevented by Eos, the dragon god of creation and balance. Eos destroyed most of the primordials, the survivors having fled to the far corners of the universe. Strangely, however, Eos could not defeat Tharizdun. Instead, Tharizdun was to be imprisoned in the darkest depths of the abyss, a plane of horrid abominations of which he himself had created. The elemental convergence saw gods of both good and evil working together for the first time in recorded history. More importantly, it plagued Eos with doubt and fear. Fear of Tharizdun being liberated one day and destroying the universe. Eos sought to create a universe of infinite possibilities, infinite lives, and infinite matter, nearly indestructible. Thus, the multiverse was born. From that point on, Eos was never seen again. In his absence, and in the wake of the multiverse, a powerful bloodline known as the Etherborn emerged. These special individuals would shape the multiverse itself and become responsible for every major event in history. It did not take long for them to catch the attention of Headmaster Aeonis, who created the College of Strixhaven, which contained a secret academia hidden from the world. The academy was meant to nurture and develop the Etherborn, ensuring that the balance within the multiverse was maintained. As you see, Etherborn cannot kill other Etherborn, and the individuals ranged from heroes of the realm to villains responsible for the destruction of entire realities. Welcome to the world of Arcane Academia. Our adventure, however, does not begin in the Academia. No. We see a green comet striking through the sky, carrying us to a distant yet familiar realm, Faerun. It passes through the cities of the Sword Coast, through Phandalin, Neverwinter, and Baldur's Gate. Eventually, it passes through a discreet rock gnome settlement deep in the Troll Mountains, known as Quarrel's High. Quarrel's High is an industrial powerhouse led by the Elven government. It has flourished for years under the unfortunate suffering of the rock gnomes, who have been exploited in the mines. The Fobaldil family, the gnomish leaders of Quarrel's High, have had a special honor bestowed upon their child, responsible for the creation of automated machine animals and the automaton miners that forever revolutionized Quarrel's High. Bixy, please introduce your character.
So, Bixy is an average rock gnome, looking no different than anybody else, about exactly 3 feet in height, with dark hair, dark skin, and nothing else extraordinary visually striking from anyone else in his space. Only with him, he was born into sort of a noble space, or he grew into a noble space after bringing his family success through his inventions of the automatons that run the economy of Quarrel's High now. They were able to make these creations very, very young, at probably 5 to 6 years old, and then growing up as the people of Quarrel's High started to get overruled by the Elven government. Bixy was more and more sheltered by the same government that was running his people. He grew up in the workshop, in his very own workshop that was run by his family. He grew up on books, not around his own people. He was blind to any issues that existed in his land. And the only thing that he ever wanted to do, and ever did do, was create. He created these automatons to help with the mines, as well as quaint little robots that resembled animals that would populate the quote-unquote wildlife of the town as it got further industrialized. I'm not exactly sure what time frame
Bixy,
we're starting here.
Before you, you stand on the balcony of the Elven Embassy located within Corals High. Delivering a speech is the leader of the Elven government, Septimus, a man of which you hold much resentment to. Before you, he's giving a speech and introduces you as the hero, the noble of Corals High. It is your 17th birthday, a moment which you have been waiting for a very, very long time. The mechanical parrot lies perched on his shoulder, along with automatons located on each and every single one of the Elven High government. He begins to speak and closes his speech as the people beneath look weary-eyed, they look tired. They look at you, Bixy, for guidance. Septimus speaks. Introducing, responsible for the creation of the automaton miners, responsible for revolutionizing the industry of Corals High, please welcome on his 17th birthday, Bixy. The stage is yours as you look over your people, the rock gnomes.
Well, before Bixy actually begins talking, I want to give further context as to the position that Bixy was in coming into this, and the position the rock gnomes were in coming into this as well. Because they grew up so sheltered and away from all of the problems of the civilization, the actual people who were put back to work had a certain resentment towards the Fabladil family themselves, including Bixy, as their own inventions, when they were made at such a young age, their innocent inventions were tainted by the Elven government and turned into something purely for profit. And this was something that Bixy had no idea about. It was happening entirely under his nose until he was able to actually start to learn about this. And up until this point, Bixy was trying to bring himself closer into the government and building up rapport to get himself into this exact position. He had been waiting for this for literal years, spreading out his creations throughout the entire town and getting them exactly where he wanted for this point. He begins with apologizing to the people. This is supposed to be a celebration, but the rock gnomes themselves are in protest outside of the gates that surround the Fabladil family house where the celebration is being kept.
What do you see to them, Bixy?
What do I see to them?
What do you say to them?
Bixy says that they're sorry, and that they never meant for any of this to happen.
A cold shadow is casted as the sun reaches high noon over the building of the embassy, which casts a cold shadow over you and the Elven government. The time is now. Are you ready to change the fate of your town?
After apologizing to his people, Bixy looks straight towards Septimus, which should be the government leader, and addresses him directly, as it seems that he was the direct cause of this sort of takeover. Yeah.
Septimus looks at you and he says, "My dear boy, I am so happy to see how far you have come, how much you have grown."
I'm no dear boy of yours.
Enough with the jest. It is time for a celebration. The sun is high in the sky, the perfect time to drink as a toast to your 17th birthday.
And you can sit here comfortably and drink when you can just look outside into the sea of people who are all crying at you. You are the only people who are celebrating.
He looks over the rating, looking down at the rock gnomes. And I need to make an insight check for me.
Oh my god, first roll of the campaign.
Roll, let's go.
Let's go!
Okay. 13.
13. You see that on the face of Septimus, as he looks down upon the rock gnome people, he looks to be truly ignorant of the situation. In his mind, in his perspective, he has committed no wrong. From his perspective, sending the rock gnomes back into the mines after you specifically free them through your inventions was just simply him making quota and helping the rest of Faerun to supply them the precious mineral located within the mines of Coral's High.
Could you be so ignorant to something like this?
Bixy, I truly do not know what you speak of, my boy.
After years of this, I think that it's just that you people don't want to see something like this. You purely just... You want to take advantage of my people. I know we are a weak people. That is exactly what I tried to help them with, and you have done nothing but take advantage of
Your
them.
people have never flourished more than right now. Look at them. Their homes restructured, reinforced. Their well-being, their quality of life has never been higher. What is this poor excuse of a joke that runs afoul from your mouth, Bixy? On his shoulder, the parrot tick, 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 tick.
You will watch your mouth when speaking to me from now on. You must be very careful with the next words that you speak.
I see that it is no longer a jest. Very well. I have been most patient with you, Bixy.
I've been most patient with you.
Enough. Guards, come take this squatter away. The guards come rushing from out of the embassy. Elven guards in full silver-plated armor, paladins, who also have trinkets on their body that you gave to them. Tick, 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 tick.
As Bixy sees the entire room of Elven government turn on them, they simply raise their hand and snap their fingers once.
As you snap your fingers, with the sun high above the embassy, the cold shadow still casted upon the Elven government and your people, you watch as the bottom half of Septimus falls, and only the bottom half, as blood splatters onto your face. Blood that joins with a tear that weighs heavy with the suffering of your people. And that's not it. Timing perfectly with the embassy's fireworks that blows up to what is meant to be a celebration. Pop, 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 pop. In mere seconds, years of excruciating planning, of suffering, of remorse, the entirety of the Elven government is wiped out in a series of explosions. Explosions caused by your trinkets.
That's crazy.
The people of Coral's High gasp. They look to you, unsure of what to do. They need orders. They need a leader. Soldiers of the Elven government remain, but the leaders are destroyed, and they are en route. But the citadel is still occupied. Your town is not yet truly free. What do you say to your people now, Bixby, as the sun no longer casts a shadow over you or the government, but instead shines through you, imbuing you with confidence?
And after this happens, in this backpack that Bixy is wearing, a small microphone will pop out of the side and go right to the side of his mouth. And he'll say, "You're all free now. You can go back to your homes. We still have occupation of the Elven guards, but just shelter yourself, and we will start our new reign." now.
You see as a quarter of them do as you say, but the majority, after your confidence, your courage, they feel inspired, and they begin to take up arms. They begin to take up literal pieces of spears, of swords, whatever they can get their hands of little tinkering equipment, whatever they can. as they all charge into the citadel that has long plagued Troll Mountain's corals high. Years of planning leads to an hour of an execution, and Warrior Town is now truly free, and the Elven government has been routed out of Coral's High.
That's freaking crazy. I mean, you kill half of your entire population.
There's gonna be a lot of buildup that's explained to all of that.
You're freaking anarchists.
That's like years and years of buildup for people that you guys will all discover very soon.
Yes. Okay. Now,
That's tension.
Bixy, I'm not done with you. Bixy. A year passes by. Works on town's defense. The town has never been more heavily fortified as it is right now. You have spent the last year no longer making toys, but making auto machines, automatons, that are built for the sole purpose of the city's defense. You find yourself working within your tinker's workshop. You have to describe what that looks like for me.
Well, as Bixby grew up in the workshop, it started off as just his mom and dad's shop, where they would just sell quaint little items, only a desk with a couple of screws and whatever scraps they would have. But after the Elven government sort of took power and gave the Fabladil family so much power themselves, Bixby was granted a magnificent workshop with as many materials as he could possibly ever want, because all that the government wanted for him was to just build. They fed into it, and because of this, now with what is left over, he still has that exact same workshop with a surplus of materials with whatever that he would use. It's probably just a very large box.
Sitting there in the center of the workshop is your magnum opus, an exoskeleton mech that you have spent a formidable amount of time working on. What does it look like?
So, to preface that, Bixby, after the revolution, basically, realized that his people, the gnomes, were incredibly weak. They're incredibly short. They don't have a lot of muscle. They are easily pushed around by somebody like the Elven governments, and Bixby wanted to change that for his people. On top of this is the reason for building these defenses in the first place. But in this time, they're working on a prototype exoskeleton for his people to wear that he is only testing on himself. Visually, this is the picture is sort of like stilts that he will get on that will add 3 feet to his height, and so they're stilts with arms that go out, and you'll put your arms inside of them, and they stay sort of outside. But that is it right now. Purely an exoskeleton that eventually will turn into his suit of armor.
This is as much as you have worked on right now.
Yes,
to this
this
point,
is
correct?
purely a prototype that only he is learning to use permanently. He wants this to be a permanent solution for his people.
It is about still daytime. Years have passed. A year has passed. Obviously, it is daytime, but suddenly, darkness. A gust of wind blows to the door, opening it. Before you stands a figure. You see, to your disbelief, not a rock gnome, but about a 6'2" tall thing. You see,
In the workshop?
yes, in the entrance of the workshop, you see a black top hat with a black wedding veil covering his face, adorned with a purple tuxedo, holding a wooden cane embroidered with gold. He walks, tapping his cane on the floor, and he goes, Time, what has become of you? A gilded child, wreathed in potential.
Am I... So this is like a physical
Yes.
person that's showing him into the room? In response to this, at the first word that they say, Bixie's in the suit already. They're going to physically jump back as many of their their mechanical animals will like scurry in front with like turrets coming to face them. Red lasers. Intruder alert. And Bixby's gonna freak out. You're not supposed to be in here. How do you get past?
He takes a bow. His cane extends as his arms do so. Pulling out of his back pocket is a piece of parchment that he hands. He extends his arm to you, an invitation.
As Bixby has his arms crossed, a small mechanical arm is gonna come off of the side and grab it.
Do not dally, my friend. It will be a fool's wager to do so.
It retracts in, and it pulls it up for Bixby to read it. His arms are still crossed.
It's a letter of acceptance to some academy that you never even applied to, never even heard of. A long letter written with hopes and dreams of promises of fulfilling your potential, of promises of never having to be insecure for your people, never having to be weak ever again. At the very end, it is signed by one Headmaster Aeonis from Arcane Academia.
The first thing that Bixby thinks when they see this is that they still have so much to do here.
The man, with the black wedding veil and the purple tuxedo, he taps his cane on the floor. The Academy will enable you to ensure the utmost protection of your people, of your home. Do not dally, Bixby. They will be safer with you in the Academy, more so than they ever were with you here. If I am not mistaken, you are partially responsible for the events of the Elven government, are you not? Your invention invited over a Elven wave that you were not ready to handle.
Bixby will slam his arm into the air while the mechanical arm slams into the ground, rubble flying up. I'm trying to make this all right now.
Then you know where you belong. Not here, tucked away in the workshop. No. You need to tap into your potential, to your power. Power to strengthen your people. It is not just Coral's High. Rock gnomes all over the continent are being enslaved, taken advantage of. Victory here means nothing to the world outside. The letter in your hand of parchment begins to lighten with purple magic that encapsulates the entire piece of parchment, reflecting onto your exoskeleton, as your exoskeleton is imbued by the same color of magic. Go ahead and make another insight check for me.
Oh shit. Okay, this one's a 14.
You recognize this type of magic. You've worked with it in the past. Teleportation spell, synced directly with your exoskeleton, taking you perhaps to where your greater destiny lies. What do you do, Bixy?
Well, when they realized that their suit was enchanted without their knowledge, normally they would be the one doing that sort of thing. They'll say, "Who gives you the right for something like this?" Very angry, and then they realize it's a teleportation spell. They get silent, understanding what they have to do. But before I leave, I must know, is this how you got in here?
A wise mentor once told me never to reveal all my secrets, Bixy. You'd be wise to share in the same advice. He snaps his fingers, and in the moment it takes you to blink, the same gust of wind flows through, and with that he's gone. What do you do, Bixy, as your exoskeleton shines with magic, calling out to you? Greater purpose, call it destiny, call it fate, call it your will. It calls to you.
So you mentioned that this was sort of teleportation magic?
Yes. Getting into the suit means you will not be in Coral's High again for a very, very long time.
Well, they go inside of it.
Go inside, and you get into this sort of sleepy condition. You get drowsy. Your head bubbles about until you sit comfortably within the exoskeleton, and everything goes black.
The DM just like, okay, it's done.
Okay, it's end of campaign.
Cut to scene.
The same green comet that first appeared in the beginning once again shows to you all. The camera zooming in on the comet as it travels northward to the kingdom of Damara in the cold lands of northern Faerun. In the outskirts of a remote village, we see two young rock gnome children, Fen and Vila, rushing to a tiny home covered in snow. A warm hearth is revealed through the cozy window. Coming out to the front door, Midge, please introduce your character.
So, as previously mentioned, Midge is a rock gnome. She has fair skin, short shoulder-length hair, brown hair, and has a lilac purple streak running through her bangs. She wears an apron most of the time because she is in smithing school. But even then, when she's honing her skills, she feels trapped. And every day when she's at home, nothing about the hard-working life of a rock gnome works out. She doesn't understand it. She doesn't get it. Every day at her home, she sees patterns in the walls. Every crack turns into a lightning strike. Every spiral, every circle turns into a magical diagram. But she can't let this out. She can't express this to anybody in her home.
Rushing towards you are Fen and Vera, your two younger siblings, as they both begin to talk simultaneously, excited. Midge! Look, Midge, look! They hand you a peculiar wooden branch.
Interesting.
What do you think, Midge? What do you think? Isn't it great? Both still talking simultaneously.
And okay, calm down. What do you guys think this does?
That's for you to figure out.
All right, and she'll take the branch and start twirling it very frivolously, making a show for them.
As you begin to twirl it around, you kind of have this moment where you feel like your entire body is about to collapse. You get very lightheaded, and when you open back your eyes, everything's you feel dazed. You kind of look at the branch, your hand trembles. And please make for me either an intelligence or an arcana check.
I'll make an arcana check. Natural 20.
No way. Oh my god.
For those who don't know, can you explain what a natural 20
A
is?
natural 20. So, when the outcome of a situation, scenario presented by the DM, is 50-50, people have to make a check to a roll to see what happens next. A natural 20 means it is the highest number you can get in a dice roll, and it means that it is an automatic success in ability checks and an automatic hit in combat.
So I mean, she gets $1 million.
Yes. Alright. Midge, you look at the branch, the diagrams, the geometry pops out, becoming three-dimensional. You hold it high and you realize you need your tools right away. Right away, you need to go to your home, wherever your tools are, and just get to work. You rush into your house, and within, calling, as you are about to enter the house, from behind, trudging along a sledge, you see Seth, your older brother. If you'd like to describe what he looks like, you may do so.
So Seth is also a rock gnome. He's a bit tall for our gnome, actually. But he has very messy black hair. His face is kind of covered in soot and just dirt from working in the mines. And he's a little bit stocky. He's a little bit stockily built.
Right, got it. He comes, he has been collecting firewood in his sled, as it is currently snowing. He is in a very subarctic environment. He looks at you twirling around with a wooden branch and goes, Glad to see you're nice and busy, Midge, as per usual.
You too.
You rush into your home, and almost as if you've been ambushed, right away, the voice of Doria and Morin, your parents, who are also rock gnomes. You hear your mother. Midge, sweetie, I do believe it is your turn today to help with dinner. These potatoes won't be peeling themselves, you know.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second.
You hear your father. Listen to your mother, Midge. Without the cooperation of everyone, this house will be nothing more than ash and dust.
1 second. 1 second. I'll be right back.
As you rush off, again, another comment. It's always another comment, always something to say. You hear your older brother, Seth. You know, it wouldn't kill you to at least consider doing something else other than smithing. It's so cliche, honestly. Not all people have to be grand inventors.
Midge stops running or speed walking, stops in her tracks, turns around to Seth and just goes, "Would you shut up for once in your life?"
You better hurry up. I will not be peeling potatoes today.
Be my guest.
Scurry off then. I'll see you hopefully before sun goes down, as per usual. You rush into your room. You live. You like to describe what your house looks like. What's your house?
So, the Midge home, the rock gnome home. It is a very humble. It's not too small enough to fit the 6 people in the household. But it is kind of, it's not that grand. It's not very, it's cozy, but it's not super pretty. Some of the walls have cracks in them. It's very humble.
Right. And your roof is covered in snow. You know this because in your particular room, there's a leak coming from the thatch or roof. Yeah, and you hear Seth already grabbing a ladder on his way to trudge the snow off the roof. They're working all day outside. But what does your room look like? What does your workshop outside of smithing school look like? Your materials, your tools.
So the workshop again is not grand like the rest of the home, but Midge has drawings all over the walls. From every little pattern she sees, she has to write it down. And they're all around the walls, over her bed, over a tiny little table she has with a tiny stool, even on the floor. They're just all around. And there's a couple of wooden carvings there that she has made for school. But other than that, it's just overwhelmed by the drawings. She even draws on the walls, but she's not supposed to.
You scurry along, grabbing your tools. You begin to get to work. You begin carving certain parts of the wooden branch, and before you know it, patterns arise from this polished branch. You see strange patterns and writings of. Do you speak Abyssal?
No.
These strange runic depictions that you have no idea what they mean. However, with a natural 20, you're able to make out a weird symbol within these texts. You see a jagged counterclockwise spiral, perhaps a symbol of a deity. What do you do?
Well, Midge is going to hold the branch in her hands for a second and just look frantically for any scrap of paper or anything that she can find and write it down.
Begin writing every single runic depiction that you see on that piece of paper. It still looks foreign to you, unable to read it. You kind of take a pause and you think, religious, it has to be. Do you have any books or anything of those sorts in your room?
Yes, likely anything from secular, like just education.
Okay. If you'd like to investigate further as to what the symbol means, I'd like you to please make a religion check or history.
Okay.
But with advantage from the natural 20 earlier, by the way.
Oh, let's go.
Girl, An 8.
An 8. The name, as you open the tome, you kind of get lost in the pages. Minutes go by, and before you know it, an hour has been spent as you kind of looking through, unable to figure out. All you've learned is that the language is abyssal, and the symbol in particular, is representative of all the dark gods of the abyss, a plane far away from the material realm. What do you do now? As you hear your parents, your mom, Midge, sweetie, I'm not going to ask you again. The potatoes won't be peeling themselves.
Coming. And she slams the book on the table and trudges over and goes to peel the potatoes.
As you're on your way, on your left arm and your right arm, Thad and Vera, Midge, what did you find? What did you find? Wasn't it great? Wasn't it awesome?
It was. I will tell you guys about it later. I need to go help mom and dad, okay?
Yeah, okay, you're amazing. Playtime tomorrow, same time?
Yes.
Perfect. Still talking simultaneously, by the way, both of them, as they will scurry off back outside to keep playing as you peel the potatoes. Then Midge, as you peel potatoes, you begin to feel an utmost sense of dread. Dread that can come from no dark god of the abyss, no, dread that is only originated from routine. Days pass, Midge, and the same cycle plagues you. Chores, school, play, dinner. Chores, school, play, dinner, again and again and again. A never-ending nightmare. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and eventually, on the night of your 18th birthday, you awake in a cold sweat. Kind of look around you, and the wall filled with diagrams of trinkets. You begin to stare into your wooden wall. Your eyes are gilded with this blue aura. Hugging the floorboards of this wall are all the little trinkets and toys that you have made for either yourself or your school, your younger siblings, all based, most of them, on the materials they have brought you from outside your home. Your eyes glisten, and geometrical shapes pop from the wall, reaching you almost onto your bed, becoming three-dimensional. The trinkets, the shapes, the letters, everything begins to click. Your mind seamlessly puts everything together in the blink of an eye, and before you know it, on your wall, everything coming together is a letter. A letter written in common and gnomish at your convenience. What do you do?
So the letter is on the wall.
On the wall, but only you can see it because it's like the shapes came from the wall and formed into words.
Okay, so still kind of asleep and just like rubbing her eyes, she's going to go and read it.
You read it. It is a letter of acceptance. Of acceptance into a school, an academy you've never even applied to, more or less heard from. It promises you potential, the escape of routine. It promises you power. It promises you the ability to put your future, your fate, in your own hands. And at the very bottom, it is signed from one Headmaster Aeonis from Arcane Academia. What do you do?
Well, Midge, her thoughts are gonna run wild right now. Letter of acceptance, she's thinking. And it looks intriguing, but she's thinking of her family and the responsibility she has. And she's thinking over and over, no, I gotta help do chores, I have to go to school, I have to help my brother. And then it clicks. This could be it.
Your one-way ticket to destiny. Out of here, out of this routine world. You look around and your family will make do. You may not see them again, not for a very, very long time. But something within you says that you're gonna be okay. So are they. How do you feel? How does Midge feel?
She feels scared, but more so excited.
Almost as if recognizing your emotions. The shapes on the wall materialize into actual something physical. until it forms into two massive hands made of cogs and wheels and mech that grabs onto you, not with a sense of an intention to harm you, but more so an intention to get you where you belong. It pulls you into the wall as you expect for you to hit it straight on. You go through it. And then, black.
That's crazy.
Now,
Scary.
buckle up.
Oh man.
Seatbelts, everyone. With the frizz.
The green,
Exciting.
the green comet in the sky begins to twinkle blue, and now travels eastward, reaching the eastern coast of Faerun. Here, in a remote settlement by the beach, laying on the sand, hearing the crashing of waves as the sun sets over the horizon. Anthony, please describe your character.
Alright, so Anthony is a half elf. He has kind of medium kind of curls. His hair is split down the middle, one half white and the other half black. He's about how old is he right now?
His 18th birthday was yesterday.
Okay, yeah, so he's like about 5'10". He has very tattered clothes and no shoes.
Right. Anthony, you stand almost in a meditative position on the sand. As the waves flood into the sand beneath you, the crashing. So too do memories flood into your head. Your eyes shine green. Memories haunt you. Memories of your father and younger brother, fishing at sea trying to capture food you haven't eaten in days. The hunger blinded you to the storm that blew the brood in the distance. Your small, rickety boat capsized, your brother falling into the watery depths below. In a panic, your father, Ganymede, speaks the tongue of the dead gods. A tongue you're somehow able to understand. A pact is made, your brother is saved, yet a price remains to be paid. The fathomless settles all depths, you see. The memories ceases. When you open your eyes again, the sun has disappeared from the sky, and the sea calls to you. You see, bubbling a distance away from the beach, the ocean in its dark abyss begins to form air bubbles. Your character feels almost obliged to take a plunge into the abyss. What do you do?
He stands up and he slowly starts walking into the abyss.
You walk deeper and deeper into the ocean, deeper and deeper, until eventually you find yourself 6 feet below surface. But you're able to breathe the water. Take a breath and instead of feeling your lungs be filled with water and burning, the water feels just like oxygen. You begin to swim, wandering, meandering aimlessly, until eventually you come across a giant skeletal seahorse that appears from the misty depths beneath. He kind of bows his head to you, its eyes matching your own, chaotic green. It bows your head, awaiting you to mount him.
I slowly put my hands on his bowing head. And then I climb on top of him.
Climb on top. And this seahorse, skeletal, giant, the size of a horse, begins to take you into a plunge deeper and deeper into the depths. Deeper and deeper. The pressure feels like it should be crushing your skull, but it does not. Eventually, you are taken to a grand palace made of coral, seaweed, and all types of organic fish material, better left undescribed. It kind of spirals around like a jagged crown and then you see this ornate pearly door open before you. You don't know what this place is, but you hear him just like you did that fateful day when you almost lost your brother. The fathomless calls to you. What do you do?
I collect my thoughts for a second. I kind of look around, try to gather my surroundings. What is happening?
You cannot see more than 10 feet in front of you. Everything is dark at the sun that's been swallowed by the ocean. The only thing you can see is the entrance into the Fathom King's palace. Within here, you feel something calling you, almost pulling your heart closer to it. The seahorse, now positioned behind you, kind of gives you a nudge.
If I must.
You swim for what feels like an hour. Your body is exhausted. Your belly rumbling. But as you swim, the bruises on your skin, the cuts, the scabs, the water heals them. At one point, you thought at first that you were breathing the water. No. You realize that here, you were never breathing at all. You don't have to. Not in his presence. The center of the palace reveals an empty throne room, a throne made of coral and algae. Whispers surround you in these icy depths. Your mother, she will soon become one with the depths. I can help. Once more, indeed, I can help. What do you say? As you hear this voice, at first it surrounds you, and then you realize it's coming from the throne, originating from a crown made of gold imbued with astral crystals.
I scream out, "What are you? Who are you?"
You know who I am, Anthony. When you close your eyes at night, I am the darkness that follows suit. I am the nightmare that wakes you up in a cold sweat. I am the waves that crash against the sand. I am all that has died and all that will ever die. I am the fathomless, and I have no name, only a desire for the gift that you possess.
And what gift do I possess?
A gift that will now serve us. Your forearms begin to glisten with purple magic. Even in the water, it lights up the palace. And finally, you can see further out than just 10 feet. Surrounding the palace like a coliseum is an audience of undead mermans. Skeletal creatures, heads dangling off, barely supporting. They're all watching you. The sea's aristocrats. All the skeletons puts his hands up and claps. And all of them at the same time, about 300 of them, all around you, begin to mimic the fathomless king's voice. Yes, yes. He shall serve us well indeed. The fathomless whispers once more. Your mother will die without my help. You do not want that, do you, Anthony?
Do not try to gaslight me right now.
I'm not familiar with your terminology.
You're lying to me.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
18.
18.
Yes!
He's lying. Your mother will die regardless.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Unless perhaps by some sketch of the imagination, you can learn to hone this gift that you possess. This gift that allowed you to understand the language of the dead gods in the first place. This gift which has allowed you to bear this connection with the fathomless. A gift that has led you here to this moment. A gift that saved your younger brother. The fathomless whispers once more. As his crown lights up and opens a golden gilded portal that begins to suck all the water from the ocean into it. As the ocean begins to slowly but surely become drained. Go forth, Anthony. Your family will be well cared for. Serve your true king. Serve your greater destiny. The storm to come is not one that I can reel you out of this time. The abyss calls, and I must answer. For soon I shall be usurped. All of the skeletons around you, all of the mermaids, the undead, they erupt in bile acid that fills the palace. The acid all comes near the portal, and landing behind the portal as the ocean continues to be drained, the bile forms into a symbol. A symbol of a reverse jagged spiral.
I know this, so I recognize that.
You look at it. You know Abyssal's language? Perfect. You look at it. You know this. You know this symbol. You know its deity. Father of the true abyss. Harbinger of destruction. This is the symbol of Tharizdun, the god of destruction. Your connection with the Fathom King is broken. And time is running out. What do you do? As the portal calls to you, you can go back home if you wish and continue to starve and watch as your mother dies. Or perhaps destiny has something greater in store for you.
I walk into the portal.
You approach. And suddenly your willfulness turns into foolishness as you are sucked in. And with that, once again, darkness.
Look, goes a bikini bottom.
I cannot believe he's wearing bikini bottom.
That's what I'm in the back row.
Alright.
How much DM damage do I take?
Rocks wipe out your entire village.
You have 20 points of psychic damage. Alright.
Okay.
The comets above in the sky splits into two. The lower half chasing the setting sun. Faerun is turned upside down. The full moon now reigns superior in the night sky. Once again, we find ourselves in western Faerun, but things appear differently. Here resides the small trading port of Moon's Bay, northeast of the western heartlands. With the witching hour upon us, we see a beautiful temple made from lunar rocks, dedicated to the goddess Luna Bell, minor deity of the moon spirits. Here, praying to a statue of the goddess, Kit, please introduce your character.
I'll be playing Kitsune, also known as Kit. Kit has blonde hair, has colorful vestments like this, because he's very colorful in nature, but he also wears this as the vestments of his people, of the Lunar Temple. Luna Bell is this Kitsune heroine who they pray to because her and a bunch of her friends saved them from a dark terror from long ago. And Kid's a very adamant, church kid, and so he's just going there. He's like, Luna Bell, I'm right here thanking you for everything that you've done for me, everything you did for my dad, everything you've done to the temple. 20 thank yous later. He said, and thank you for this new moon that we're having today. And I just hope that everything's going to go according to plan. Your best friend, Kit.
Amongst Kit, you find yourself amongst the lunar festival debaucheries. You find yourself in the temple, praying. And as you pray the wonderful prayer, you hear the music, the melody outside, people laughing, dancing, the sound of bonfires.
Ooh.
However, as you finish your prayer, you look up, the witching hour, midnight, the striking of the bell. It is your 17th birthday. A graceful white light caresses your face. You look up through the stained roof of the church, or the temple, to find yourself under the embrace of the lunar eclipse. The moonlight shines a path that guides you like a wisp through the night. It leads you out of the temple and shines a path towards a dense forest hill which overlooks the trading port of Moon's Bay.
I look around to see if my dad's around. Dad, you hear this? You see what I'm seeing? Can I roll to see if I find my dad?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay, I got a 19 plus whatever, so it's high. Is my dad around to see this?
In the alleyway, but right outside the temple, as you walk out and you see him, Dad, sitting there, an empty balloon in hand. Please describe what your father looks like.
Okay, so my dad, his name is Jacques Boupé. He is he's a priest. He's known as a religious man and evangelist for the Lunar Temple. But before that, he was an adventurer. He was a bard, right? So he was like an adventuring pirate and things like that. So he's of the faith, but he's of life as well. So he's known to drink from time to time after having a service or two. So I just want to say, Dad, look, the lunar eclipse. It's up, Dad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
As you startle him, he's still kind of in this dreamy state as he unsheaves his rapier and goes, what are you shooting around?
No,
What's that? On guard, you fool, on guard!
Dad, no. You're not fighting the elven pirates again.
Kit.
It's okay.
Kit.
It's okay. Yes, Dad.
You can't sneak up on an old privateer such as myself like that.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry.
The last man that did it lost his hand.
You told me that again. He lost his hand, and thus he lost his wife. You already told me this story time.
A classic tale.
No, but Dad, aren't you seeing the lunar eclipse is up and this trail?
Oh no. She will not be happy to see me.
Who? She? Come on. Luna Bell?
You do not say her name like that.
But she's Luna
Quiet.
Bell!
How long has the eclipse been out for?
Well, I think it's just been starting now, but I don't know why, but I feel like I have to go to the forest. Can I go to the forest?
After you. You see, my relationship with the goddess is a bit complex. I do not believe she'd be happy to see me. My son, by all means, go atop that hill and become fully embraced under the moonlight.
Okay.
But do not mention me, please.
Okay, I will not mention her. I will not mention your name. I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna say, Mom, it's me, your favorite son, good old Kitsune. And but Dad, I'm nervous. This is my first time actually seeing a lunar eclipse, actually seeing her face. Like, Dad, I need some advice. And no, not the bardic stories or anything like that, or from a religious priest.
You ramble for about 2 minutes before you turn around and you see your dad already halfway down the hill towards the port city, kind of swaying side to side with the balloon. He's singing a tune, just
and
running
the
down.
waves go marching in. You know what, Dad? I think this is sometimes you telling me that I have to face my own battles myself. So you know what? so you know what? So you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. And then I tried to recite all the different prayers of the lunar goddess on my way up there. And it's like, Noon, here we pray, all is right, everything is good, Luna bells inside. I basically like just chime along on the way to the forest. So what am I seeing at this
As
point?
you walk up onto the hill, your dad's word of advice stuck deep in your brain. You see a veil between realities open, shone by the moonlight. It radiates, drawing to you. Within, you hear the beautiful melody, the voice of Luna Bell. You rushing through, and here, inside the hill, you see at the center is a sakura grove with an ornate pond in its center filled with translucent astral koi fish.
Will this be the first time I ever meet her, do you think? Or I ever
Yes.
hear her voice?
You've heard her voice in the past, in moments of great despair, moments where you needed advice that your father didn't really give you. But she definitely provided. But this is the first time you're about to see her. The first time you're gonna be face to face. This is the first lunar eclipse that has happened since before you were born.
Like mechanically, can I cast guidance on myself?
Sure, go ahead.
And I guess I canonically say, since my dad's not here to help me, you know what? I'm just gonna think to myself. So I cast like guidance and bless just to make sure I'm ready. Like I got the garments, I got everything. I'm like, you know what? Today's my time.
For those of you that don't know, guidance and bless are the spells that mechanically help you have a better chance of rolling. So, for example, guidance allows you to roll with, I believe, is it advantage?
I think guidance.
Or is it a modifier?
No. It gives you a modifier.
It's a modifier. It gives you a modifier, and bless gives you an extra 1d4 to add to your total roll. That being said,
you know what? And I think I can cast that more one person, so I'm just gonna bless my dad wherever he is on his way, as hopeful prayers that he doesn't get drunk the next day.
normally the range of bless wouldn't allow you to do so, but if you're so in tune after that inspiring speech your dad presented to you, that somewhere you know that you have blessed him being able to finish his 10th bottle of sea whiskey.
That's my dad.
Without you, where would he be?
Yep, exactly.
All right, Kit,
Mm-hmm.
before you, appearing before you, the wisp that guided you goes into the direct moonlight coming from the lunar eclipse, materializing into physical being. Please describe what Luna Bell looks like.
Within Japanese folklore, a kitsune is someone, if you ever see like Naruto or any other anime, it's supposed to be a representation of a nine-tailed fox. But within their lore, within Japanese lore, they're able to transform into beautiful heroines of their time. So specifically with Luna Bell, the way I imagined her is she will have like coming down this nice silk dress. She has like this golden, almost silkish blondish hair with piercing blue eyes. But instead of having the fox tail, she has this nice little fox stash, like just here. And within that, she has this mighty staff that has like the crescent moon. And every time that I've never seen her before, but I always hear a sweet, delicate voice saying, "My young kid."
You hear her delicate voice, as soothing, as polished as the moon itself. Little fox, you have shown great promise. The devotion of your faith, your kindness towards others, all exceptional qualities amongst my most trusted acolytes.
I mean, Luna Bell, the first time I see you, it's beyond comprehension. I mean, I read in your books, I hear all the things that you've done to save my people. I mean, it's just amazing. Thank you for being here. I have so much to ask you, but...
The time, I'm afraid, little fox, is running short for questions.
Why? Is everything okay? You need help?
I'm afraid that this will be the last lunar eclipse for a long, long time, little fox. The darkness is coming. A silent storm approaching from the unknown. It is here, on this hill, where my most devoted once stood strong against the sun of the abyss. Now, it is your turn. You will be my strongest warrior, little fox. But you are not yet ready to face this evil.
I kneel down and I say, I'm not ready, Lunabelle, but if you can guide me, I mean, I cast guidance on myself already, but if you can guide me, and I could be the man, the soldier, and maybe your champion? I don't know. I'm not worthy for that. Just someone who can help out. Because you got so much on your plate.
She kind of puts her hands up, kind of thing to like calm down, kind of a little bit, and she says,
Okay.
hands to your sides. She snaps her fingers, and a small moon appears in her hand. She kind of puts her hand in the small moon, almost like a pocket dimension, and coming out of this moon is a rapier forged in the moons from the celestial planes, a rapier that you have once seen many times in your dreams. With this rapier, she bestows upon you as she graces both of your shoulders, donning you. And before you know it, you blink and you feel a sense of peace. Suddenly, your ears become pointed. You have a sprouting fox tail.
What? That wasn't there before.
And upon you is the mantle of a star fox all around you.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I can't believe it. Wait, no. Does this mean, Lunabelle, am I your champion?
She kind of blushes, puts her hands to her mouth, and goes, yes, little fox.
Kid starts running around the shore. He's like, this is awesome!
The koi fish, matching your energy, the astral koi fish, start swimming, no longer requiring water to swim. They start swimming all around you as you're just so happy, your energy, your positivity. Lunabelle takes a breath and goes, truly a special little fox. Now, Kit, listen
Yes.
very closely.
Okay, I get like my religious book and I start writing. Yes.
You must train. Do you hear me?
Train?
Train. You are my champion now. You are the chosen of the moon. You must discover the depths of your abilities. You must go to a place that can do for you what I cannot. Transform you into the warrior, into the leader that you always meant to be. Hopefully nothing like your father.
I mean, my father has ups and downs,
Do not
but he's my
even mention his
dad.
name.
Oh, okay, all right.
She kind of, her demeanor becomes stern. She kind of,
I'm sorry, because, he's my dad.
go ahead and make an insight check for me with disadvantage.
Disadvantage? and I guess this comes from, this is my dad, he's super cool, adventures. Okay, so that's a 3.
Don't forget to add guidance and bless.
Oh, guidance
that's
and
right,
bless.
yeah.
Okay, so I think guidance is D4, right?
Yeah.
D4.
And
So
bless
3,
is another D4.
Bless is another, so 3,
So
3,
you have 6 right now?
2.
So 8.
So I have to get my proficiency. What is it? Insight?
Insight, yes.
Insight. Shout out to D20.
D&D Beyond?
D&D Beyond. Yeah, trying to get here.
Very accessible, very good.
Yeah, very accessible, very good. Insight?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. +4, so +3, so 5 +3 +4?
5 plus 3 plus 4, that is a 12. Yes?
12, yeah.
With a 12.
This game uses a lot of
You think to yourself, man, she seems to be enjoying my rambling.
Yeah, and the thing is that I know he doesn't talk about him that much, but the thing is that he never tells me to mention you, but I could tell by the blushing of your face and me mentioning your name, you're probably thinking, hey, I'm the spit image of this guy.
You watch as her, to me, completely stern, as the koi fish that were swimming around without water just plop back into the pond, and she kind of looks at you and goes, well then, tell me, what is your father up to currently?
Well, knowing my father after he does his great evangelistic missions across the globe, visiting faces and saying your glory, he's probably drinking his 20th cask of ale and preaching to the community at large. Because that's my dad. Love him. He's the best. Jax Volpe, adventure of the world.
Is he here in Moon's Bay?
No, he's not.
Make a deception check.
No, he's not. I think that my father is somewhere that's not here. Well, he's not here in this area. We're talking about this, right? This area.
Yeah, Moonsport. Like,
Okay. 17 plus. Crap.
It's okay. 17 is good.
Deception.
It's good. 17 is good. Kit.
Okay.
She goes, very well. I admire your admiration for your father. Truly. Enough of him.
He speaks very highly of you, though.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. Now, listen. You must go to somewhere that you'll be able to train to become the most potent version of yourself. Little fox, worry not for your father. He shall be well taken care of, I assure you.
He's not coming with me?
No.
He's my dad!
Little fox.
Wait, I'm leaving Moon's Bay?
Yes.
A field trip?
She hands you a parchment, a letter. I have spoken personally to Headmaster Aeonis. Your destiny does not lie here under the drunken beguile of your father. No. Your destiny resides within the watchful gaze of Arcane Academia.
Arcane what?
Arcane Academia. Your
No.
fox, your tail kind of like excitedly.
Yeah, you see my little like fox still like moving like a dog. It's like, okay. So question, I'm not going like a church conference. We're gonna be like talking about like you all the time. This is like an actual like mission, right?
Little fox, this is a place where you'll be able to fully develop yourself.
Someone in school?
It's a school, yes, it's an academy. Most prestigious academy. Academy that most in the world do not, or have ever heard of, and probably never will. Are you ready, my warrior?
I want to be honest, Lunabelle. If you're choosing me, you believe in me so much because I don't believe in myself. But I think if it's my time, it's my time.
Step into that pond,
But I don't have my bathing suit on.
please.
Okay. He dips his toes in.
The water's icy cold,
Ah!
freezing. She kind of looks at you like,
No, hey, listen. You gave me new ears. I mean, they look very nice, by the way. This tail, I mean, this very sensitive tail. You know what? I'm just gonna jump in.
you jump in, and as you jump in into the water, you haven't even read the parchment. You just will step right in. The koi fish who are still floating without water begin to surround you like a school of fish. Surround you, and they begin moving faster and faster until eventually these astral koi fish, they transform into pure magical energy that absorbs you, and under the grace of the moonlight, you are risen up above. And you take one last look at Lunabelle as she says, "Do not fail me, little fox."
Lunabelle, it was never my intention.
You get risen up above the grove, up into the very stars themselves. As you rise up and up and up, you see down above in Moonsport your father by the beach, thinking, contemplating. You can't hear him, but your heart, your feeling, he's gonna be okay.
That guidance and prayers, bless, really worked. That's really crazy. I mean, well, prayer does miracles.
What does Kit feel in this moment as you're gonna leave Moon's Bay, you're gonna leave your life behind and embark on something new altogether?
I've always been in Moon's Bay. I never left Moon's Bay. And the fact that I'm hearing something academia, I'm like, wow, okay. I have to figure out what to think, who to meet, what to talk to, and most importantly, not talk about Lunabelle all the time because that's pretty boring. But I'm excited, and I start playing with my ears and seeing how does that work on the way as I get to where I'm going.
All right.
So, yeah.
You go up and up and up, and you're so excited. You're so enthralled that when you reach the atmosphere, you remember you can't breathe without air, and eventually, everything goes black. That being said, let's go ahead and take a break.
Okay, that's good.
Hey guys, it's me, your humble DM here, Johnny, and also editor, along with
multimedia producer Elijah Pastana.
lovely.
Mhm.
Hope you're enjoying the first half of the episode so far. Just to let you know, this next half does have some audio issues because
We had issues with file corruption, and as most of you producers and content creators out there know, file corruption is a pain in the buttocks.
indeed.
But we had it was me, Johnny, and we also have our audio engineer Cheeky, who was really patching up all the files and get everything together. So we did not lose the second part of this episode. So if you are enjoying it, please share with your friends and family, and let's continue with Arcane Academia.
And welcome back to Arcane Academia. We find ourselves in the midst of character introductions, and without further ado, let's continue. The moonlight from the lunar eclipse shines bright over the city of Waterdeep, where here we see a pristine, carefully engineered mansion which overlooks the city. Here, within the mansion, looking out of its elegant window towards the eclipse, Elwen, please introduce the character.
Elwen Ethelred, son of the House of Ethelred. He is a young high elf. Standard elf features: pointy ears, slim, pale, shoulder length black hair with like white streaks going through it. I'd say right now he's probably in his room getting dressed or primping himself in the mirror.
Elwen,
Mhm.
about a year has passed since the tragic passing of your uncle. How do you feel?
I wasn't really close to him. He was always off and busy on doing work and very important stuff. And obviously, I was sad when he died, but I guess life goes on, and I have other things to do and mourn for a year, please.
Indeed, you do. And behind you, you see your butler, a dusk elf draped in a red suit, pointy ears, long black hair, and purple, shiny eyes, looking at you. Sir Ethelred, your parents have summoned you. I do believe it is urgent.
How urgent is this?
Urgent enough for your father to threaten once again to fire me.
Okay, fine. He's not actually going to do it, right?
I hope not,
I mean,
sir.
he's said it for so many times. I don't think he even really cares at this point, but okay, fine.
One would be
fine.
obliged to think otherwise.
Right, fine. I'll go. Lead me to him.
Very well. Follow me, Sir Elwen. You see this dusk elf. He moves very painfully slowly. And what will take you about a minute to get into the grand foyer of your mansion, it takes about 5. He's slowly moving. It's like you look around, and as you're moving through your mansion, through your home, here overlooking Waterdeep. Please describe, what does your home look like?
From the inside, from the outside.
Whichever one you want.
The house is big stone house high on the hill of Waterdeep.
Mhm.
It's got a wall surrounding like the house and like the gardens and whatnot. There's ivy growing on the trellises. Inside, it's a very fine, marble everywhere, tapestries, draperies, elegant wooden furniture, the whole shebang. And this is a house of like propriety and like finery. These are people who have been here for like several centuries probably, and they continue, and they want to be there for several centuries more.
Here, as you finally approach the grand foyer, please describe what your mother looks like as she in her hand she holds a pristine, very expensive goblet filled, topped off with the most expensive wine in all of Waterdeep.
My mother, beautiful elven woman, very fine, very done up, long robes, headdress, crown, maybe like a little tiara. She's sort of sitting by a table, just drinking a glass of wine. Hello, mother.
Elwen, my dear, you look more and more handsome with each fleeting day.
Thank you, mother.
One day you shall soon not only rule over Waterdeep, but the entirety of Faerun. I am sure of it. I am so proud of you.
Thank you, mother.
Your father, right next to her, reading the Waterdeep parade, the newspaper, kind of flips a page. What does he look like?
Father, also just an older elf. Again, handsome features, maybe a little older, but he's an elf, so he doesn't really age that much. Also, very finely dressed, long robe, furs, fancy hat, probably just also drinking a glass of wine.
You see above him are plaques. Plaques of every single member of your family lineage. No gap in between every single one. Beneath them is their name and the list of achievements, of accomplishments. Some of them are so grandeur. Leader of the war over Faerun, Victor. One of them is credited in establishing Waterdeep. One of them is credited with establishing Baldur's Gate. You have this pristine bloodline, and then next to you is your plaque. It says your name, they can portrait, but so far it has no notable achievements. Your father says, while flipping the paper, careful not to smother him too much, dear. He'll form wrinkles on his suit.
Thank you, Father. What is it you had to tell me today?
You kind of. How does this make you feel? How do your parents make you feel?
They're nice. They're very smart. They're nice. I appreciate the very little my mother's affection. Could my father be a little warmer? Probably. But do I really care at this point? Probably not. I sort of motioned to the butler to just bring me a glass of wine, please, for the love of God, just so we can get through this interaction with him.
Yes, of course, Sir Elwen.
I don't even have to say it. I'm just waving my hand at him.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. He scurries off, and you remember something important. It's about the night is about to conclude. And yet, there has been no mention of the fact that it is your birthday. Your parents have not even acknowledged this piece of information.
And I'm trying my best not to be offended by it, even though normally my birthday is like a big cause of celebration within the household and the surrounding environment. A ball, a gala or something, or just a trip abroad. But no mention. I've just been assuming that they're planning some big elaborate surprise at any given moment. What with the eclipse and everything. I'm sort of tapping my foot on the ground, maybe just like a little ticked off that like they've been going at the charade, just say it already.
Do you show them your expression? Do you show them how you do you wear your features on your face?
Smiling, but it's a very forced smile, and I'm just sort of standing there, just like, yes, Father, what is it?
Now, Elwen, please take a drink. As the butler scurries over, Sir Elwen, the most peculiar wine in all the realms.
Thank you, yes.
As you're about to take a sip, it smells off. Kind of look at it, and the wine from within the cup spirals out, splashes upwards, almost ruining your perfectly good suit. But before it manages to hit on you, the moonlight from beyond the window into the foyer begins to transform the wine. And suddenly, you look around you. Illusionary magic. The walls of your mansion begin to transform. A beautiful chandelier hangs over ceiling, and surrounding you, looking at you, clapping their hands, excited to see you, is every single family member that is still alive to this day, along with about a good half of the Waterdeep aristocrats.
You came! Oh, I knew you were planning a big surprise. Oh, thank you so much for being here, everyone.
They all clap, and you see one by one, another birthday, one by one, you have to make pleasantries. You even kiss them on the cheek, you shake hands. 300 introductions later, 300 hellos later, your father, with everybody watching, all eyes on you, he points at your plaque of the empty achievements, and he says, my son, this shall no longer be the case. He walks towards you. He snaps his fingers, and his newspaper that he was holding begins to transform like paper mache to a letter. A letter of which he hands over to you.
Thank you, Father.
My dear boy, it is time for you to go off on your own path. You see, you shall set a higher standard amongst our bloodline, just as your mother and I did before you, as well as our ancestors before us. Your mother chimes in. I know it has not been easy lately, Elwen. The death of your uncle has not transpired well.
It has not.
Commoners call us tyrants. The call of these people.
And
Have they no sympathy towards our loss? Tyrants.
You have a hard job. Keeping this up is a hard job.
Coral's High will have not transformed itself into an industrial powerhouse without our aid. The gall. Sorry, apologies.
That's why they're commoners. We're
Precisely. I'm sorry. I ramble, sweetie. You're just so adorable.
Thank you, mother.
Cheeks. Gives you a kiss in the forehead in front of everybody.
It's embarrassing, but I just go with it. Thank you.
She puts her hands on your shoulders and goes, "This is our opportunity to rebuild our reputation. Our bloodline is a strong and powerful one. Remember that your time away from home." And this kind of catches you off guard. Time away from home.
Time away from home? Where am I going?
Your eyes kind of trace down to the letter. You begin to uncrumple it. You open it up. It's a piece of parchment, written in both common and Elvish. It's a letter of acceptance, once again, to a university of which you have never heard of. A university that most people will never hear of in the first place.
I thought we were going to finishing school with the rest of the cousins, but okay.
No. You have been chosen for something far greater. Your father chimes in. You read, it's a letter of acceptance from one headmaster Aeonis, promising you the path to glory, to fame, promising you a path to restore your family heritage, promising you a path to not only set and meet your family's expectations, but to exceed them.
Thank you.
At the bottom is signed by Headmaster Aeonis, and from one Arcane Academia.
But when are we going? When am I going?
Your butler chimes in. Oh, good sir, tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, in fact, I have happened to have the pleasure of cleaning your room and packing your belongings.
Better have, thank you.
Sir, you do understand that I did ask you beforehand to let me know to clean your room at least a few days prior, yes?
Well, yes, but I just thought that was just the regular cleaning, not just like, I didn't know this was a surprise.
Very well, sir. Do not think twice of it, truly.
Thank you.
Your parents both look at you. Everybody in the room, all eyes on you. The weight for all these expectations. How does this make Elwen feel?
This is the most terrifying moment of his life. You know, to come from such grandeur and such and such achievements, and have literally everybody in this room accepting, waiting to know what's going to happen. Just well, I accept. I'm going.
Well
Ready
done, Johnny good indeed. And all the aristocrats clap.
Thank you.
You see the leader, the head minister of Waterdeep himself, go up to your father, and you hear him begin to whisper into his ears. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
D20?
Yes.
Okay. 3 plus 1, 4.
You don't hear most of the conversation, if anything at all, but perhaps a single sentence that bears more weight than the entire conversation possibly could anyway. He will truly outshine even Waterdeep itself. There is nothing that this boy will not be able to do. That's all you hear from the minister of Waterdeep himself. Whisper this into your father's ear.
I don't address him, but I take it to heart, and I just sort of just go.
Please describe, unless there's anything else you have to say to these people, to your family, and this is the last time you're going to be here in Waterdeep, in your home for quite a while. Is there anything you say to them before you depart?
Friends, citizens, countrymen, mother, father, help. Thank you for this. Please, everyone, raise a glass to the House of Ethelred.
Your butler takes about almost an entire minute to raise his arm. Yes, a toast indeed.
Thank you.
I'll take a sip.
Take the final sip of the good wine.
It tastes.
I'll probably have in a while.
Yeah. The hate immediately. Your butler begins to escort you out of the mansion through the ground floor into the front yard. Here, an ornate, elegant gold wagon awaits you, but you notice that there are no horses to accompany the wagon. Your butler with his hands for you to enter the wagon, along as he is also at the same time trudging along all of your suitcases, all your belongings. He has about 5 suitcases in his hands. He's kind of trudging along.
Where are the other footmen? The other footmen are supposed to be here to help you. That's their job.
So they appear to be busy with the entertainment in the foyer.
Busy with what? They're the footmen. That's their job. And where are the horses?
The horses are a surprise, actually, from your father.
Horses are surprising. He did get me a gift.
He did. One that I am sure you will enjoy as much as I will.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right then. Nice. I get into the coach and just kind of sit there, just
You wait almost half an hour as one by one each luggage gets stacked on the back seat of the wagon.
Well, because again, there's
oh dear! Oh, Madeline, where are you?
Just go get the footman to do his job. That's his job.
You see Madeline, a half elf, and you think to yourself, oh. Half elf. You come out.
Half elf.
You come outside. Madeline. She's a fine young woman. Very young as those girls, 20. Blue eyes, red hair. She comes outside, holding a plate of wine, like a wine cups of wine in her hand, almost like a waitress. She comes outside. She places the wine aside and goes, "Oh no, Thomason, are you okay? Madeline, please get the cleric. I cannot continue on like this.
Madeline, it is my birthday. I want you to get the footman or tell my father to fire them right now.
Oh, right away.
And then go get the cleric to help Thomasine. But
you think
priorities.
Another 15 minutes. This fool broke his back again.
There's probably a bishop inside.
About 15 minutes pass by. Oh, that's the spot. Oh, jeez. Oh, great gods above. And kind of goes back together. He places the last luggage on your back. The room clears.
Thank you.
He sits in front. You're in the back of the wagon. There's a wall separation between you and the luggage. It's very pristine here. There's a bunch of drinks, a bunch of papers, entertainment, whatever you need, dragon chess. You see your butler, Thompson, sit at the front, and he gets a whip, magical whip. And you think to yourself, oh, the horses.
Thompson knows how to drive the carriage. Just served wine, and that was it. I assumed he just did the house. I didn't know he had to drive. We have a separate guy to do that.
So, do you tell us Thompson or?
Yes, Thompson again. And where is the coachman?
So today is different. I have been personally entrusted to take you to this academia.
Well, thank you.
You don't have to thank me. It was your father's idea.
Well, I'm still going to thank you.
No, I appreciate it nonetheless.
And you're welcome.
As he snaps the whips together, coming out from alcoves outside your mansion that provide fire, the fire transforms into flame genassis that turn to fire horses, which the whip goes around their necks safely, of course. He hold on tight, Sir Elwen. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Are you sure you're qualified to do this?
Go ahead, make an insight check.
Are you sure you of all people? And no offense, I appreciate the service you've done to this family for the past several years, but just are you sure you're the person most qualified to do this and not the man we hired to do this professionally? That's just one job here, and if he doesn't, I'm having him fired.
One job.
Maybe what?
What?
Roll a what? You said
Oh, sorry, I forget that's your one. Roll an insight check.
An insight check.
Yes.
Okay. 16 minus 1, a 15.
No. But he's doing his best. He snaps the wounds together, and he puts on. You see, for some reason, he puts on these equivalent of almost like noise canceling device over his head, headphones, a device over his head, and you see he puts on these goggles over his eyes and said, "Here we go, Sir Elwen." As you're in the middle of talking to him, like, wait, you aren't qualified to do this. You guys swung back as the flame horses begin to move at immense speed. At one point, you realize you're no longer traveling on the ground. Instead, you're up above the city of Waterdeep, overlooking the entire city. It's nighttime. The lights from beneath are so beautiful. You see the water, the ocean, the solar coast. And you notice something interesting. The water, the ocean here, it appears to be bit beneath the regular sea level. And before you're able to make any thoughts, dragged down as the carriage is now, you're kind of holding on to yourself. You forgot to put on your seat, but the carriage is swan diving straight into a building in water deep. And you hear the butler, Thompson, go, "This is my favorite part." I don't know how you react to this.
Thompson, what are you doing?
Allow me, good sir. I bid you farewell.
Farewell.
Please, before you arrive again here at Waterdeep, give me at least a week's notice. And instead of going crashing into the building, you guys go through the building. And with that, everything cuts to black.
Dead.
Yeah, actually, so when I say cuts to black, it's because all your characters have died so far. That being said,
Shortest
that's
campaign.
That's it.
Shortest campaign ever.
all right, hold on to your pants.
Pants at
Oh, wait.
holding. Oh, tension. Let's go.
1 sec. Okay. That good?
Yeah.
Okay. The lunar eclipse finally comes to a halt. The separated halves of the comet come together once more. A myriad of blue and green flash in the skies above. We are transported to a far, far away realm. Perhaps one more familiar than Faerun. Here, walking amongst the shadows of a 1980s neighborhood. Charlie, please introduce your character.
Charlie is a half-elf character, though she doesn't have any traits of being an elf at all. She has vaguely pointy ears, and she always knew she was different from people in her surroundings, but for the most part, she looks relatively human. Around 5'7", wearing bland-colored clothing, gray t-shirt, black pants, same boots every single day, and a DIY'd, ugly bob cut, I would put. From an early age, Charlie came from a broken home with two parents, Angelina and Gary, who were way too broke to get a divorce, but could not stand living next to each other. If they weren't out of the house, they were spending too much time invested in themselves to really notice if Charlie was in or out of the house. So, not knowing any love and not knowing any attention, she seeked that in other places, which were the streets of where she lived. There came a period of time where Charlie had left the house indefinitely from the age of 13 forward because she acknowledged that her house was no longer a hospitable place to live in. Broken glass everywhere, trash mounting the entire house. She figured she'd have more liberty, more security in herself, making her own decisions, as opposed to being in this situation.
Charlie. You are wandering throughout this 1980s neighborhood in this suburban community. It is filled, however, not with just humans, but with elves, with orcs, with gnomes, whatever you have it. You woke up at about 4 in the morning, at this late at night, because the hunger pangs were too much. You reach into your pockets as you trudge along the streets, and all you have within is a rotting banana, not suitable to eat. However, your back also kind of feels a bit stiff. You have been sleeping in the back of the van, which you had stole a few weeks prior, and also crashed into the nearby light post. Things could be worse, however. You could still be with your parents at your home. That being said, in the distance, you see a house, and you know that it is unoccupied. You see the family is on vacation, an orc family. You've been watching them for days now, and waiting for this opportunity. What do you do as you're in desperate search for food, for anything to help you get by?
I make sure that I'm in the clear, but I walk up to the house gradually. I start pressing my fingers against the windows just to see if any of them would push.
Go ahead and actually, no, I'll do this. Sorry, I missed the box.
That's what she said.
Record.
What?
How
All
dare
right,
you,
well, so
Elijah?
post editing, we'll cut that out. All right, so
Oh boy.
Charlie, you press your hand against the window. It's cold, frostbite forms. It's getting chilly. Your hoodie, too many cuts and too jagged now to provide you some warmth, some insulation. You press your hand against the cold window and push it open. The air and suctions, and a path forward into the house has been revealed. What do you do?
I crawl in.
Do you do it quietly? Do you go in there like no care in the world?
No, I'm gradual. I am making sure that I make as minimal noise as possible since I'm not sure if this house has alarms.
All right.
So I'm on my toes.
Please go ahead and make a stealth check for me.
Okay, which one is that?
That is 1d20, and on your D&D Beyond character sheet, there's a specific ability called Stealth, and it gives you a number to add to your roll.
Okay,
+3.
great.
So whatever you get, plus 3.
20.
No way. Like
Natural
natural
20.
20?
Not even lying.
First roll of any D&D campaign.
That's crazy.
Dude, both of us got natural 20.
Yeah.
Charlie, as you step in quiet as a mouse, tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe along the house. It's 1980s style. The decoration makes you want to throw up. You look around. What are you searching for? What are you most desperate for here? Where do you go? The kitchen, the living room, the bedrooms?
The kitchen.
As you tiptoe, 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 you hear? Upstairs, you have miscalculated. You didn't know that a family member would not go with them on vacation, but you had never even seen it before. Who could possibly be here? Regardless, you are so quiet, like a shadow. Like the person upstairs does not take notice to you. You tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe into the kitchen, and there, like the Holy Grail, is a fridge. What do you do?
I start looking through that fridge.
Open the fridge and you see before you, oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Describe all the foods that you see, all the foods that you get.
I see multiple wheels of cheese of different varieties. And some of them sliced and wrapped in saran wrap. Also, I see fresh produce, and I see a lot of very sugary microwavable items.
Are you going to put them
And
in the microwave?
eggs.
Are you going to be putting them in the microwave?
No
Okay.
way.
Do you eat right away? Do you put them in your pockets for later?
I
What's the
put
game
them
plan?
in my pockets because I'm skeptical of the situation.
Okay. So what now?
I get Pop-Tarts and cheese, and of different varieties, because you never
Gotcha.
know.
So you never know.
And I put them in my pockets,
Mm.
and I begin to walk back towards the window that I came in through.
Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe.
Indeed.
The natural 20. Getting out, easy as getting in. Jump
Perfect.
over. And now you finally, after a week and a half, 2 weeks without food, finally having something to eat. Where do you go to eat this on the street? The van, perhaps? Where do you go from here? It's about 4:30 in the morning.
The van.
The van. Yeah. You walk, as you're walking through the van, you get there safely. It's been crashed into this light post, and you see the indent, but no one has done anything. Like, just ignore the van. It's become more like a relic in the neighborhood now. No questions asked. You get in the back of the van and begin. What do you eat first? All these items.
The Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tart. Go down. You're still so hungry. What's next?
I save some things for later since I don't know when the next opportunity for me to eat is.
You're rummaging, putting everything away, and as you rummage, you forgot that in your pockets is still that rotting banana. It's there. What do you do with it?
Toss it.
As you are about to toss it, biting its way through the cane peel, is a peculiar-looking caterpillar.
Oh my god. Not this guy. Okay.
It crawls out, and it goes to the tip of the banana. It kind of its upper. God damn it! Its upper.
We're not cutting We're not cutting that. It's sued. They're gonna take away our
FCC license.
They're gonna take away our license. Part of the Federal Communications Commission.
The upper half of the caterpillar arises, and kind of arms extend. Is it trying to give you a hug? What is it doing?
I don't know what it's doing, but that's not my problem.
make an insight check for me.
Another D20?
Yes, a lot of insight checks today. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10.
Oh, what do you add to that?
Oh!
What-
Oh, 11.
11. The caterpillar watches you, but when you realize it's not looking at you, it's looking at your shoulder. On your shoulder, crawling around you, is a black widow.
No.
You look at it, you freeze. What do you do?
I flip it off.
Make an animal handling check for me. Animal handling.
Is that another D20?
Yes.
Gary needs a new pair of shoes.
What type of shoes?
Adidas.
Adidas?
Sure.
13.
+1.
Plus.
Oh, plus 1. 14.
The spider gets flicked off, the caterpillar goes at peace, and behind you, outside the entrance to your van, you hear a voice. The threads of fate never fail to impress. What have we here, little spider? And opening the back of your van, you see Eddie kind of in the corner eating your Pop-Tarts. The caterpillar kind of slithers away down to the banana and goes into a dark corner. You see a man in a purple tuxedo, a black top hat, black wedding veil covering his face, and a wooden cane embroidered with gold. As he taps his cane towards you, he's not blocking the van. He leaves is considered enough to leave a reasonable space for you to get out if you wish to do so. And you hear him continue rambling, spinning your web, only to watch it be lit on fire over and over again. You're too special to be burnt to a crisp.
I don't have what you're looking for, man.
He begins to talk to you, and as he continues rambling, you do know that the spider is still in this van with you. Are you particularly afraid of spiders? Are you chill with them?
I live in Phil, so...
It doesn't take long for you to realize that the man is not talking about the spider. He's talking about you. He continues. What if I told you of a place? yes, a place. A place where your web will never be burnt. A place where perhaps you'll realize you are merely a caterpillar all along, waiting for the perfect moment to spread your wings and turn into a beautiful butterfly.
Go home.
The man looks at you and says, very well. It's a place I have overstayed my welcome anyway. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh. So it's another D20.
So what's the difference between a skill check and a saving throw?
A saving throw is in reaction to something happening to your character without you triggering that. A check is something your character is doing and trying to figure out if you're going to succeed, partially succeed, or fail.
Okay.
Saving throw is a reaction to the environment mostly, or a spell, for example, or maybe even dying. Anyway, go ahead.
9.
+1.
10. Well,
Charlie, you take 3 points of psychic damage as the man turns around and begins to walk away. And as he walks away, despite having just ate, the hunger pangs come back. You're hungry again. You're hungry, you're filthy, you haven't showered, you haven't been cleaned in days. The caterpillar in the corner sits next to a spider, the black widow, of which the caterpillar has just killed. But something's happening to the caterpillar. You see it spazzing out in the corner. Revolting. Each footstep the man takes away from you and the caterpillar, it appears that the caterpillar is slowly but surely dying with each footstep. Your hunger is growing more and more ravenous. And you hear the man whisper, "Little spider, or perhaps a caterpillar. What do the threads of fate have in store for me?" What do you do?
I allow him to walk away because I don't know who he is, I don't know where he's from, and I know that I'm in legal trouble. So I am not taking my chances because worst case scenario, I do have more food, and worst case scenario, I eat the caterpillar. So
The caterpillar, it's on its dying breath, about a minute or two before it fully dies out. And as a gust of wind passes through the empty, cold streets of this 1980s neighborhood, and the man is gone. Not only that, you hear sirens, police, 3 cop cars parked as you see a bunch of you see a patrol car filled with dwarves within the police uniform. You see orcs, you see elves, all in the police force. They have their batons, and some even have a gun drawn, pointed at the van. As you hear, "Charlie! Charlie, are you in there?"
no.
Do you say that? Do you say no to that?
To myself, I say that. Damn. I try to start the car.
You open the little window between the back of the van and the actual front driving part. You go through it, and then you're 16, yeah?
At this point, I'm 17.
17, right. It is your birthday after. You put the keys in the car, and due to your past experience with driving, the van did end up against a post, light post. I need you to go ahead and you need to roll 2d20s with disadvantage, so you're gonna pick from the lowest. And if you're proficient with vehicles, you can add that. If you're not, then just whatever the dice say.
I don't think I'm very proficient in vehicles, considering that I crashed this within the day that I got it.
That's why you're rolling with disadvantage.
So 11.
And the next row.
And the next one, and you're gonna pick from the lowest.
It's probably gonna be this one. I'm hoping. And 15. Yeah.
So it's gonna be 11 in total. You're not proficient with vehicles, are you?
No.
Okay. The engine starts off, and then the car sputters, and the car does not come on.
Ooh.
Smoke coming from the engines, and you hear the drip within the engine. Careful. I need to go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Is that another d20?
Yeah.
Okay.
+2.
14.
14.
16, right?
You need to get out of that van
That's
fast.
12 plus 2.
You need to get out of that van quickly. You have about maybe a minute, maybe less, before that car
Grab my cheese and I
blows up.
pack up and I run.
The issue is, since you spent some time getting to the front seat trying to get away, the police will now encircle your van, and you have some blocking that exit. Yeah. The van's about to explode. The police are blocking your path. You hear this man's voices up, despite not being here. You hear, tick tock, tick tock. What would the spider choose? What web will you thread? Are you a caterpillar? Are you a spider? Or perhaps you're simply dead? The caterpillar begins to erupt. Fluids come out. You see a crumpled note coming out of the caterpillar. The note, the gust of wind comes into the van and puts the note almost in your face as the police are there, guns drawn, the car about to explode. You've been accepted to university. The university never applied to. You just turned 17. Signed by the headmaster. He only promises for you never to be hungry ever again. Promise you a future where you can be as you wish, away from the law, not in prison, not retching in there as your parents once did. The car's about to blow up. Police are blocking your path. You can choose to try to escape. You have one minute before the car blows up, but if you choose to accept this letter to Arcane Academia, perhaps fate will be different.
Oof. Okay. I have nothing better going on. I feel that it's a trick, but do I get shot or do I go to this potentially fake school, right? I'm gonna go to the potentially fake school.
The letter, almost as if understanding your emotions. Your eyes shine the blue magic coming off of the letter, and with that, in the blink of an eye, you're sucked into the very letters, the very pages of the note itself. And with that, everything goes dark. But before doing so, you hear, "It's about to blow!" As the van explodes as you leave just in the nick of time. Everything goes black.
Give me back my sandcastle.
Now, with character introductions out of the way. Let me change the music. 1 second.
This is the cracking episode. Hey guys, today we're into our sponsor, chiropractors.
Before I continue to the next part, since I would like to give a special shout out to our production team behind the camera.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. You guys can't see him, but he's awesome.
He's gonna come and get a shout out later.
Yes, alright. You all awake. Right before you wake, you find yourselves awake in this darkness. Flash into the night sky to this abyss that you find yourselves in. You see a myriad of blue and green. Something striking into the abyss. And then you wake up. You all awake to find yourselves in an enchanted forest, lush with sequoias and redwood. A strange melody plays from deep within the forest. Here, finding yourselves awake, you all come face to face, each and every single one of you for the first time. What do you all do?
Hi guys!
First thing that happens with Bixy when they come in, they're wearing their prototype armor, and when they come in, they're not exactly balanced. So the first thing that anybody's gonna hear before even understanding where they are entirely, they'll take in the force, and then they'll hear. He trips when teleporting inside. Go!
I imagine with Kit, having his new different abilities, within his stuff, he's able to transform into various things. So you just see like Kit come out in his normal like human like fox-like form, and it's like, whoa, that's crazy! And then he transforms to like in like a little fox Kit, and he just like washes himself off with the water. He's like, wow, this is so cool! Wait, friends, new people, awesome!
Elwen just kind of pokes his head out the carriage, just like, Thompson?
You see,
Thompson, are you there?
not only that, you actually awake yourself to find yourself with no carriage.
No
Instead,
carriage.
you're on your suit. It's been covered in dirt and grass and dust. And you look around, your luggage, where have they gone?
The horses,
And almost
the
as if on cue,
My suit.
dropping right next to you, almost crushing Kit, are 5 pieces of luggage just fall next to you.
I can I dodge each and every single one of them? Whoa, no! What? Wait a minute. What's that there? Ah!
And it isn't until the suitcases fall that I actually just like pay attention to it. It's like, oh, hello.
The little fox form of Kit goes like, hey, is this all yours, man? Man, you pack a lot of luggage.
Yes.
Wow. Do you have family coming over?
No, I think this is just. I think it's just me this time. If you would be so kind as to just help me carry this up to wherever we're going, wherever I am.
I can't look like this, and then I transform back to like my human like fox-eared self.
So yeah,
Well,
I caught that.
Well, my name's Kitsune.
Kitsune, pleasure.
Your name, my
Sir
friend?
Elwen of the House of Ethelred.
That's a long thing. So Elwen is just
Fine. Yeah, just Elwen. Sure.
Elwen? Sure, I can help you. Are you gonna help me carry this?
As you're both talking behind both of you, just watching what is your character doing as you find yourself all alone with like 5 other people, strangers in this sun forest after being faded to black. Wow.
Am I like? Did we all like? Are we standing or are we like lying
up to
down?
you.
Okay. Well, Midge appears just like on the floor, just like dazed, and she's gonna slowly like stand up, and she's gonna like look at and immediately before noticing anyone else, she's gonna notice the suit of armor.
Oh, the on the floor suit of armor
Yeah,
with the very
On the
Bixy
floor.
inside of it.
Immediately, Midge's gonna go, what in the nine hells is that?
Oh, it's a new prototype. I need help wiggling out, please.
Okay, so, yeah.
Like their shoulders are like closed in by the arms that are there. Their feet are all locked in, but they're in the floor, so they can't like exactly. I just need this belt, this one belt, and they try to like point at it with their head.
Okay, and Midge is trying to like help.
Midge, you catch an unsettling sight as behind Bixy, sitting crisscross. Not sure if he's lucid or not yet. You see Anthony. His eyes are black as the abyss with eldritch green pupils shining from it. As you finally, your eyes kind of roll to the back of your head and your pupils return to normal as you see all this happening.
I thought I was gonna fucking die.
Excuse me. Because you got distracted looking at her.
Okay, fine. Okay.
She like undoes the thing. He frees his arm. I can take it. I can take it from here.
Elwen, is that giant robot, like, is that yours? Is
No,
that weird?
that actually is not mine.
That's not yours.
But I am hoping maybe he can help us with the luggage.
Okay, sure. I mean, I don't work for you. I'm just being a nice
No,
guy.
and I'm sure. Pardon me, good sir.
You guys start walking over, but Bixy has already freed themselves.
Sir
And
Knight.
as they start to lift themselves up, you expect them to like get up and get taller, but they kind of get up and they just sort of stay the same height. They start scurrying around their exosuit. It's like, oh no, but I just fixed that, and I need my and then does anybody have a screwdriver? My tools.
No,
here?
buddy, it's okay. If I cast mending, what happens? Can mending help?
Yes.
Okay. Listen. What's your name, man?
Tarkle Bixy Alphys Fablodo. I'm sure you've heard. You can call me Bixy. Though,
Okay,
that's okay.
Bixy. I love it. I love the short names.
where have I heard that name?
Okay.
You, as you're talking to this fox humanoid, you kind of catch in the corner of your eye this high elf, whose face looks oddly familiar. How do you react to this?
Bixy does not know how to interact with people very well. So
look at me, man. So tell me how this works, and I'll help you fix it.
No, you'll only ruin it further. I need to be the one working on this. It is only a prototype. It is only my first one. I can't take your help.
I start holding his hand. I start putting his hand on his shoulder. Okay, then I want you to do it. Tell me how it works, and you start fixing yourself. And then through me touching him, I'm casting mending as he is fixing his.
Alright. The armor begins to come back together, not to its full degree of excellence, but good enough to at least fully repair it in your own time. As you're doing so, watching the scene from above, it's kind of stuck onto, not sticky enough to not be able to get out, but kind of tangled in a massive spider web about 5 feet above along the tree line. It's charging. As you watch everything from above.
What a bunch of Looney Tunes, bro. That's all I have to
Bixy's
say.
gonna see that and think to themselves, "Oh, one hasn't hit the floor yet."
Yeah.
And they'll tap a small button on their shoulder, and the sort of like mechanical, not like spring arm, but you know those like arms that like you move them and then it will like sort of stay in that direction. It'll pop out with small scissors to cut around the sides that are stuck to the tree, getting them to fall to the same level as all of us.
Alright, the spider web just kind of undoes stuff. You start falling. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Roll a dexterity.
A dexterity saving throw. So roll a d20 and go to saving throws and add your dexterity modifier.
That's a +3 for you.
Let's go.
You'll never guess, bro.
No way.
Never guessed,
No way.
bro.
That's 20 again. That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
what you guess?
Superhero land.
Describe how you land.
I tumble, but like, like almost like a near choreographed like tumble, and it seems unintentional, but I've had to do it before in order to break my fall. So I hit the ground rolling, and then I kind of catch myself and stand back up.
That's awesome.
As you all kind of watch this all unravel, the spider, a little thread begins to vibrate, ever so slightly. And you all begin to watch. As you look around, you have luggage to carry. You can't deal without that luggage, Elwen. Your exosuit is kind of heavy and some sort of repair. You have to figure out how to drag them along. However, the vibrating of the thread becomes more violent. A shadow is cast over you. As flying through the airs, dodging and weaving through the sequoias and tall red rooms, you see the head of a lion, of a goat, and of a dragon, as a chimera has its eyes set upon your spot, ready to engage on all of you. In the distance, you see towering trees part ahead, a few miles away, to reveal an awe-inspiring sight. The spires of the academy rise majestically, adorned with intricate carvings, glowing enchantments, and colorful banners that sway gently in the breeze. Originating from the academy is this protective hum, as a chimera gets closer and closer, about to engage. You have to go, you have to run for miles, and we'll continue next session.
Hey, come over
Go to the DMs.
This is the audio.
let's go.
We're recording
The
soon,
audio
right?
master. This is the
Come
real
on.
Take him out!
Shout over to Adrian, one of our multimedia directors and producer overseeing this production. Thank you for you guys seeing this episode. We hope you guys enjoy what we're gonna do here for StudyBreak Tabletop, and excited. I mean, how did you guys feel overall?
Oh,
Good.
what a good time.
Such fun.
Excited.
Well, it's like I'm watching a show, like.
Yeah.
You are the show.
Oh, you are the
show.
It's
You
like
are in the show.
like those like books where it's like flip to page 20 to like you
That's
know
exactly.
like
That's how
Yeah.
that's how some of the modules are written, right?
Yeah.
Like if they do this, you go to of course it's never gonna be like that, like linear.
Yeah.
But I know that like certain stuff has been like written like
It's
that
really
before.
cool.
A Pathfinder.
I'm
book is
highly
written like that
entertained.
one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. See you later.
Bye.